first step with restoring this chassis is going to be opening all of this up. So in order to open the cavity, we need to remove and restore this. This is the combination oscillator and first IF. Next to it is the second IF. And you can see with this rubber wiring, it's all got to go. Fortunately, one thing I did with the first attempt at restoring 130s is I made this set of rebuild instructions. Gives myself a map of what all these terminals are, what they go to, what color the wires are, what they should be, and then actual pictures of what each thing does. Also the measurements to make sure that we have continuity and I am getting homage on everything. And of course, physical layout and such. So, first thing we're doing, yanking this. In order to remove that assembly, 2 flathead screws need to be popped off. Next thing to do is to just start cutting these wires, because they're eventually going to be replaced anyway. I've got the map. I don't have to worry about making sure I'm going to put everything back in the same place, make a memory of it, because I've already done that. So we'll cut these off. I can't see. There. Well, once these are cut, this entire assembly will come out. The assembly's been removed, and as you notice, gives you a huge cavity now, which gives you an opportunity to replace all these paper capacitors and resistors. I'm going to go ahead and replace as much as I can because this is almost an 80-year-old instrument, and I'm almost guaranteed sure that those resistors have gone up in value. I remember with the 130 it did plenty. There's a piece of cardboard. I'll have to see where that goes. Oh, I know what this goes to. It goes in here, because in my rebuild notes there's a cardboard spacer has to go in there, so probably going to have to re-glue that in anyway, just to keep any of this from touching the metal on this. Alright, that's done. Now we'll get the second IF, and to do that has a little bracket that holds the trimmer capacitor, and it's connected by this screw. So, without further ado, out it comes. Quick snip. There should be one more. Yep, there it is. Believe it or not, there we go. That's the second IF transformer. This little doojumaflobby. And there's your trimmer to adjust it. And with that, now the entire chassis, bear with me, I'm still trying to figure out which way is supposed to go where. The entire chassis is wide open, and you can easily get in there and replace what you need. All the wiring is going to be replaced too. It's all this rubber wiring that's petrified, and it just cracks at a cross-eyed look. So, time this gets done, there's going to be a whole lot of breathing room, because the components are a lot smaller, modern-wise, than these original ones. To get into this assembly, there's one small nut. Simply loosen it up. Once that's loosened, push in. It may take a minute. And there we go. Show this for the camera. These two coils are the IF. All this over here is the oscillator. As you can see, it's all rubber wiring. That's all being replaced. And then all these terminals are going to be cleaned up. Whatever wiring needs to go in will be replaced as well. Here's the final product. All the wires have been replaced. And depending on where it's oriented, which I believe is going to be like this, it goes to different spots on the chassis. Time to put the cover on and continue forward. Second IF is completed. All 4 wires have been replaced. Only thing that'll go on is there's going to be another red here, and I think that's about it. That's going to be coming from the first IF. So, quick voltmeter check, make sure everything's showing continuity, and we're ready to go into the chassis. We start on the chassis, and already I have found one small problem, probably fixable. Let me zoom in on this. You have to lift up. We're going to start on the 1A7 section, which is this here. This is the oscillator, and the problem. Let me move this up. There. This problem here. See how it's moving? That ain't supposed to be moving. This is part of the switch. It's broken here. So I'm going to need to probably do some JB weld or something to fix that, because this section holds one of the switch contacts. Other than that, this is pretty straightforward. Yeah, let's try this. This is pretty straightforward otherwise. These capacitors are got to go. That mica capacitor probably goes, the crumbling wire. So it's a matter of tearing all this out and cleaning the chassis and then starting anew. Nice and empty. And here, what I'm going to have to repair. That's all got to go in like this. So, I'm going to have to get some WD-40, not WD-40, I'm sure it's free, some JB weld, and put this together again. Most of the 1A7 has been wired and also parts replaced. Now I'm in the process of replacing crumbled rubber wiring. For instance, here, this yellow wire, and there's a green one on top of the tuning capacitor. Both of these are the antenna leads, and I've made them long enough to where I can open the back cover. These will still be attached and they won't have any strain on them. So now the next thing I need to do is there's some wiring along here. That's got to be replaced. There's a lot of crumbly stuff here, like this one. I've marked them to where they're supposed to go, and I've also removed a few. But it's all going to be in this spot here, and if you can see, you got this volume control in the way. So what I'm going to have to do, unscrew that, remove the volume control, and that'll give me access to all the components down below here. Also, if I hadn't said in the other video, the switch has been repaired. It works beautifully, and I've got all components ready to go on it. Here are the improvements. All of the tubes have been rewired. New parts have been put in. I've just now got the IF in place. I just need to put this one over to here, and I've just now got to put in the IF, which goes here in the middle, the second one, and we should be ready for our first fire up. I've also installed new battery plugs using the original battery plugs themselves and the sockets. The radio is complete. Move that out of the way. All done. Wired, recapped, re-resistored, and I've already tuned it up. Sounded really raspy when I first got it going, and I thought, well, maybe it's the speaker. No, I rubbed the cone of the speaker and it was just fine, so I thought, well, maybe I'd just juggle some tubes around. Well, replacing the 1D8 did all the difference in the world. This thing is pulling in stations left and right, crystal clear. The only other problem I had with it is it would quit after a little bit. And I was suspecting one of the tubes, this one in particular, the oscillator, just didn't have enough oomph to it, even after I replaced the C cell that I was using for the A battery. So I replaced it. I've got it now stable. So now I'm going to put this whole shebang into the cabinet, and I'll show you what I've done to that.